everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas. It's a magic time. You can feel it in the air, that every child got their hearts filled up with joy. Yes, it's Christmas all around. All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing Merry Christmas to you.
Hi everyone. So by popular demand, I am doing a little gift guide for 2025. I typically give money gifts to my grandchildren and to my adult kids because, you know, times are tough, and then they can use those for things like experiences, little trips that they do with the family and that type of thing. But I do like having a small gift for everyone under the tree. And there's certain types of gifts I love giving, and there's also certain types of gifts that I truly enjoy receiving. So I thought I would talk about the types of things that I give to people for Christmas, and also the things that I love to receive. Because oftentimes the things I love to receive, I sometimes give to others. Now, I tend to like consumable gifts, so things like cookies and wine and different types of sweets, or a great bath product, or an amazing candle, or a plant, or that type of thing. In essence, it doesn't have to be food, but it's something that I can consume, or, you know, even like a ticket to the opera or something like that, where I can actually enjoy it, experience it, and use it up so it doesn't necessarily hang around forever. Though, to be fair, I also like little small knick-knacky things that maybe I wouldn't buy for myself, but I certainly enjoy receiving, or that I enjoy giving. So this is what I want to talk about today because, you know, it is the Christmas season and I have been out shopping. If you're new here, my name is Raina and this is Small Retired Life, and we talk about all things that have to do with retirement and living our life in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. If you are new, then welcome here. All right, so let's tackle the food category first. One of the first things I love to give, and you will not be surprised because I've talked about this before, but it is my homemade granola. And I make a sour cherry granola, and I also make these little angel ornaments that I attach to the granola to make it a little more festive. I will link the video below where I make the granola, and also where I show you how to make these angels. This is a gift that everyone looks forward to every year. Everyone likes my sour cherry granola. And this is like really the only food gift that I make. I'm not proud of my baking skills. I can make bread, but when it comes to like cakes or candies or cookies, I don't think there's a single recipe for cookies out there that doesn't hate me. So I just stick to my granola because I know it will turn out and everyone loves it. And then there's some food items that I really enjoy buying, which I will share. All right, for all the foodies that you have on your Christmas list and people that like sweets and really yummy things, I buy these salt and caramel covered licorice. They are from Denmark, and I can bring it closer so you can see it. And they're by a company called Lakritz by Bilo. And I buy them in a little independent shop here in Calgary called Piece on Piece. And they typically have amazing ladies wear, but they also sell some ceramics made by local artists. And they also sell some really yummy little food items. And I don't know anyone else who sells these chocolatey, caramely goodness. So I go there every year to buy them. They're quite pricey. This little jar was $30. But you know what? I buy this for someone as a gift. This is special. It's a once a year thing. And $30 to me is still reasonable. I can bring them as a hostess gift or just give them, you know, as a Christmas gift with a pretty bow on top. I have to hide these because if I don't hide them, I will eat them and no one will get them for Christmas. They are that delicious. So these are my every year someone I know will get one of these jars of these absolutely decadent, scrumptious, sweet treats. To people that like to mix cocktails, like my sister loves mixing cocktails. And I love finding cocktail mixers and bitters and different flavorings that are a little bit different. These are made, this is made in Canada. It's by Split Tree. They're, I believe, out of Ottawa. And I buy this in the same little shop where I buy the coated licorice, piece on piece. And I thought this is a great little gift to give to someone who really enjoys mixing cocktails. What I especially like to do is to give this and maybe like a vintage glass to go with it. These are old Libby's glasses, and I purchased them in a local vintage shop. And I particularly like this one because it has a maple leaf on it, and that is just so Canadian. But I love this shape of glass because you can make a champagne cocktail in them. You can put a beer in them. They're a really handy piece of glassware to have. And I want to say I paid like maybe $2 for this glass. It was not a lot of money. You have to kind of collect them from different vintage places, but they're definitely fun to collect. And I think they're fun to give with something like this and maybe some fun stir sticks or something like that. So this is my third little thing in the food category. All right, if things seem a little bit different, it's because I had to stop filming yesterday. I completely lost all of my light. I only use natural light when I'm filming, and it gets so dark so quickly. So the last food item that I want to talk about is my beloved Irish cream, Bailey's. I've tried like more expensive, real Irish creams, and I come back to loving Bailey's the most. I think it's because I associate the taste of it with Christmas. I like giving it, I like receiving it. This is a bigger bottle, but I also have little bottles or like some of the more kind of smaller sized bottles that I enjoy giving. The thing that I usually do is I always like to give it with like a favorite Christmas mug. So I'll take you through some of my favorite Christmas mugs because I just love them. So this one here is the traditional Spode Christmas mug. I like to give that with the Baileys and a really good bag of coffee, something that is delicious, maybe local. And I think that's a great combination because who doesn't love Baileys and coffee? Well, maybe some of you don't. Baileys also comes in a salted caramel version. I prefer the traditional because I'm a traditional girl, but I think that's a great gift. I always get compliments on my mugs. I thought I would show you some of my favorite Christmas mugs. I'm not a huge collector of dishes, but mugs are definitely a weakness, and I have to be very careful that I don't overrun my cupboards with mugs. But I enjoy my Christmas mugs and I use them for months. Like I basically use them all winter season. I have this one, which is by Mikasa. And I love this one because it's just a little winter scene. So I can use this like throughout the whole winter. It's not specifically just a Christmas mug, though it has some pretty trees on it. I also absolutely love this brand of mugs. And I think they're so cute. And then inside, I'm not sure if you can see it, but inside there's like little Christmas sayings. And they're by Royal Worcester. They're a bone china mug. And my sister has given me a few of these for Christmas. I love receiving them and I love giving them. And they're kind of like the perfect size for an Irish cream and a coffee. And then my probably most favorite mug is this one. You see it in a lot of videos. I got this many years ago when we still had the Bay, which is sad that that's gone. And this is by the French brand Villeroy et Book. And I just love this mug. So anyways, that's my last food item. So I think the next section we're going to go on to is beauty. So for the beauty, I have some friends that really enjoy getting some body type products, and I love certain body products as well, or makeup. And so I have my favorites that I kind of tend to give every year to somebody. Now, I want to say that none of this video is sponsored. These are all things that I personally use, that I really enjoy getting or giving. So nothing about this video is sponsored. There are some affiliate links for some of my books and things in the bottom, but I have those there most of the time, and honestly, it's just so you can kind of see some of the products. But as much as possible, I will try and provide some links so you know what the product is that I'm talking about when possible. So for beauty, an absolutely non-negotiable gift that I give is products from L'Occitane. Now, the almond oil bath shower gel or bath shower kind of thing is something that I give to somebody every year. My sister loves it. I love it. My girlfriends love it. I have also the matching hand cream, and this is the only hand cream, sorry, this way. This is the only hand cream that I actually use and enjoy. It's not too greasy. Like I love L'Occitane products. Another product from them that I really enjoy this winter, I think it's new this year, this particular scent, is this shower cream, and it is called Lumière d'hiver, which I think roughly translates into winter light. And this is a shower cream, and it is wonderful for our dry winters here in Alberta. Alberta is in the western part of Canada, but it's pretty much set kind of between the mountains and the prairies, and it's excessively dry here. Most people that come here really have a tough time for the first while to get used to the dryness. The other thing that I love, again, because of the dryness, now typically I don't use expensive face products. I tend to use a lot of drugstore brands, but I am absolutely addicted to this particular Clarins line. And hopefully this is focusing. This is their Calm Essential, and unfortunately, I have a feeling they might be discontinuing it because it is so difficult to find. They have like an emulsion, kind of a face cream version, and then they have this slightly thicker balm type version. This is amazing for dry skin. I usually love my CeraVe for skincare, but it doesn't cut it for winter. And these two are so great. They just calm my skin. I love getting these. I love Clarins in general, so anything from Clarins is always welcome in my Christmas gifts that I receive, but I also enjoy like giving these because this is such a no-brainer. There is really no scent. It's for very sensitive skin, so almost anyone can probably use this. I've recommended this to a few people and they all love it. So I'm hoping that Clarins doesn't discontinue it and maybe they're just tweaking it or reformulating it a little bit. If any of you know anything about Clarins and if you know anything about what's going on with these products, let me know in the comment section. So I love this. And the other thing I really enjoy giving, and it's an absolute tradition, are these Dior lip balms. Now, these are expensive. Expensive. Oh my goodness. I think they're like, I don't know, don't quote me, $50 Canadian or something like that. Cheap Old People's Day Tuesday at Shoppers Drug Mart, or collect your points. And you can get these on sale usually every Thursday at Shoppers Drug Mart when they have the seniors discount. And the seniors discount is like 55 plus. So great time to purchase these. My sister absolutely loves it. We love the original kind of what they call the 001 color, which is the pink. It goes on sheer, but it is a nice, beautiful lip gloss, lip balm combination. So these are always welcome by anyone I know in their Christmas gift under the tree or in their stocking. On that lip balm note, I also love, I love my Merit. They are a sponsor of my channel, but this is not sponsored by them. But I use their lip oil like all the time. And it's very juicy and just makes your lips look plump, and it moisturizes. I'm huge on anything that moisturizes, so a couple of people are getting some of these this year. And then I also I seem to like Dior for gifting because it's not something someone would really buy because it's more on the expensive side, but I don't mind paying for it to give as a gift. And they have this little compact, it is very glittery. So if you have like a teenager or someone who likes the glittery, now I personally love wearing stuff that glitters, especially on camera. I'm kind of girly that way. So it's kind of a combination of eyes and cheeks and highlighter. It does a lot of things. So it's also great if you're traveling because you just have to take this one thing. I love my Wild deodorant, and they always come out with like little Christmas cases. And this is, again, such a cute little stocking stuffer, especially if you can get some of their like Christmassy fragrances. It's fun to give. And finally, I don't often give perfume because perfume is such a personal thing. But that being said, I love almost anything by Jo Malone. I think they are a British brand, I'm not sure, but Sephora sells like these little small sized versions of some of their perfumes. And this one here is Nectarine Blossom and Honey. It's citrusy. It has a beautiful citrusy scent. And actually that L'Occitane Lumière Hiver that I was showing you before, this is a bergamot scent, which is also citrusy. So if I'm washing in this, this just I can put on afterwards and it doesn't clash because it's all a citrus family. And there's something about the smell of nectarines and oranges. I love that at Christmas. I'm definitely a citrus girl, but I find that this scent is kind of like very universal and it fits a lot of people. So that is my little beauty section. And next, I think I'm going to go on to books and homeware. That's kind of my last section, and I thought I'd combine them because it's just not a huge section. So maybe I'll start off with candles. Candles are the perfect hostess gift. People generally enjoy getting a candle. And my very favorite candle is this one by Times, T-H-Y-M-E-S, and it's the Fraser Fir scent. This is a traditional scent in my home and in my sister's home. We give each other these candles for our birthdays, which are in November, so in time for Christmas, but they're lovely to give in the Christmas stockings for, because you can get them in all kinds of sizes. This is kind of like a medium-sized type candle like this. My sister and I like this one because it has the little pine design on the glass. But this is probably the best fir scented candle that I've come across. Now, these candles are very expensive. And again, it's not something that we would buy, all the time, but it's for Christmas. It's a Christmas gift. And I don't mind, again, like splurging out a little bit on someone, especially if I know they love this candle. My sister loves this candle, so I have no qualms in purchasing it and buying one for her for Christmas. I always say that scented candles are kind of like burning money because essentially you're buying it and then you're burning it. But they make my home smell lovely. I enjoy giving them as gifts. And when you're giving a scented candle to someone, they're not paying for it, so they don't have to feel guilty. Also, in the candles side, I love burning longer, like the taper candles, I think they're called. I love when they're hand dipped. Now, I don't use hand dipped candles all year round, but I find the hand dipped ones have a certain look to them. And I just love having the hand dipped ones, and they're great to give as a gift. And they're special because they're hand dipped. So they're a little bit more expensive than the typical tapers you can find in the dollar store or anywhere. But I love how they look. I buy these in a local store, but you can get hand dipped candles at farmers markets almost anywhere. I also, if I'm going to give a hand dipped taper candle, I do like to give a candle holder. I love these they're from an American brand called Mackenzie Child. And they're just ones I really love because they're very whimsical. And I have this big head of this particular mousse hanging in my kitchen. I've had it for many years. I don't even actually know if they still make these little candle holders. Maybe they do. They're hard to get in Canada. Mackenzie Child doesn't ship to Canada. In Calgary, there's, I think, only one store that carries this particular brand. But I think you can get Mackenzie Child on Amazon. Don't quote me. I'm going to have to take a look. So you can get also, like, another way to go for taper candles is to get vintage candle holders. Here's one I got last year, or maybe a couple of years ago now, in the thrift shop. You can also find them in vintage stores, and they're so Christmassy and they sparkle when they're lit. I really enjoy the glass candle holders. Another type that I like are these. They are by a company called Hay. I believe they're from Denmark. And I like them because they have this big lip on the bottom so they catch the wax. And they're a beautiful blown glass. These are a little bit pricier. Like, I love going to a vintage store or thrift store and finding beautiful vintage candle holders. That's like the best way, because then you're reusing something. The next thing that I love to do is, there's always a plant lover on someone's list. And the kind of the coolest thing you can do is, like, I'm a plant person, so I can do this, but you could probably, find plants in the garden center. I like to cut a snippet of my plants. And so this is a tin that had cookies in it. And my sister brought me these cookies from from Greece when she was there. And I loved the tin, and I didn't want to just throw it out. So I cut some clippings of my pothos, and I just put them in like a jar in water, because these will grow in water and they will root. And I just have them in the tin. So if you find, there's tins in the thrift shops all the time. Like, there's tons of Christmas tins, beautiful tins. If you find a tin you like, think about putting just a really cheap glass container and then clipping of plants, or even just putting a plant in a little nursery pot inside there. And I think that looks amazing. Here's another example of what I did. Is I had this, I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a begonia immaculata, I think it's called. And I had this beautiful brass holder that was kind of sitting there floundering and doing nothing. So I clipped some of these plants from a big plant, and then I just rooted them in water, and then I can just put that in there, and it makes a great gift, or even just a Christmas decoration for your own home. So that is for the plant lovers. Now, of course, I also love giving homemade gifts. I don't want to, not everyone is into crafting and making things or whatever, so I don't want to shame anyone. There's beautiful handmade things out there in Christmas fairs and in different little indie shops around your neighborhood. So if you're not into making things yourself, those are great gifts to give. I love knitting, as most of you know, and I like things like hand knit socks are always something that people enjoy, but of course not everyone's a knitter. But you can often find these at Christmas fairs, or you can get some beautiful hand knit socks in stores. The other thing that I really enjoy is things like shawls. Now this one, I don't know if you can see all of it. This one I hand knit, and it was definitely a labor of love. But if you're a knitter, like, shawls and that type of thing is always such a great gift to give or receive. All right, and then I do have a book section, but I did a video on my favorite Christmas books, which I will link below this video in the description. And you can see what my favorite Christmas books are. And those make amazing gifts for people, because they can bring them out at Christmas and they'll think of you when you gift them. But there's a book that it's just so whimsical and so beautiful that I have to mention it. And those are what I call sticker books for grown-ups. And these sticker books are by John Darien, and they're absolutely gorgeous, because inside, on one side, there's just a picture, and on another side, there is stickers. And there's all kinds of stickers. Like, for example, here's some with mushrooms. And he's got 2 volumes of these. So I have both. Now, what I love to do with this book is I love to take the stickers and put them on plain bags when I'm gifting someone something. So I don't have to run out and buy a bag all the time. I have a supply of these plain white bags or just craft bags, craft colored bags, and I will take a sticker and put it on the bag. There's teeny tiny stickers in here as well. I don't know if I can find a page, but here's one that has butterflies, and there's some really tiny butterflies on here. And sometimes I use those to close envelopes with cards in them, or I will take plain white cardstock and I will take some of these stickers. I'll link these books below. You almost feel bad taking the stickers out of the book, but I remind myself that, you know, it doesn't do you any good to just have these books sitting in your bookshelf full of stickers. It's nice to use the stickers and make someone else happy with them. They are such a cool little gift for someone. I mean, if someone gave me this for Christmas, I would be ecstatic because I always use up the stickers. Finally, something that's tradition for me is I always do a Christmas puzzle every year. This one's from Indigo here in Calgary, but you can find all kinds of puzzles everywhere, and they're a great, I love giving them as gifts because it's something people can do together. And if I know the person I'm gifting this to is really into puzzles, I think I always choose to do a puzzle. I always buy one for myself, and I have it. I started December 1st, and then I do it all the way till the 24th, and it motivates me to get it finished because I need to clear off my dining room table. So these are some of the things that I enjoy gifting and I enjoy receiving, and it's just a small smattering of suggestions. I know everyone has their own things that they like to give and receive, but I find when I watch these videos with gifting guides in them, I always get at least one or two ideas. So I hope maybe that in this video, you will have garnered one or two good ideas that you can use for a gifting to people that you care for. All right, so this is it for this week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next week at our regular time. Bye.